Okay, this is the third time I've had to film this video, and hopefully it is the last.
Living like Larry.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Liv, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. It's gonna be a little bit different than what I normally do. I normally react to songs, artists, whatever, that come out. But today, we're gonna be talking about something a little bit different. Experience that I had, bit of a life update, everything in between. If you hear pitter-pattering behind me, I'm currently standing in my shower because depression sucks and my room's a mess and I don't have time, nor do I have the patience to clean right now. So today we're gonna be talking about the time A, I went to the ER, and B, the Chainsmokers concert. And ignore my phone, I'm a horrible YouTuber and left my ringer on. I guess we'll start with story one. Yeah, I went to the ER. So about a month ago or so, I could feel my tonsils swelling up. So I was like, it's fine, she's just getting a cold. Nothing serious about it. And then about 3 days later, I remember specifically, it was on a Saturday, because my parents were in Iceland. I was by myself with my dogs and stuff like that. On a Saturday, I noticed that my tonsils were swelling up, so I started to take measures to ensure that I wasn't gonna get any more sick. Obviously that didn't happen. A couple days passed. It was Monday night. I just got out of school and I was like, I'm going to the doctor. I'm gonna go to med check that's right down the street from my house because I need to know what's going on, because clearly couldn't breathe, I couldn't eat anything, and I just in general just felt absolutely horrible. I went to med check. He was like, all right, we'll give you a strep test, we'll see what's going on, we'll go from there. So I got a strep test done. It came back negative, which normally happens with me. I always end up getting strep tests and they end up coming back negative, which we'll get into that in a little bit. I go to med check. He gives me a Z-Pack, which is a steroid essentially. That should take effect roughly a day or two after taking it. And I've taken Z-Packs before. They normally worked. So I gave it a couple days and I still felt absolutely horrible. My tonsils were still swollen. I couldn't breathe at night. I was super dry. My throat hurt all the time. I didn't have a fever or anything like that, but it sure as hell felt like it. I couldn't eat. Drinking was not happening. I was just miserable. My mom called them again and said, when she got back from Iceland, which was on a Wednesday, she called them and was like, hey, nothing's working. Is there anything that you can give her that might help? So I got on a new antibiotic, I guess, and it was a strong dosage. So he said, take it with food, take it with this, so that way you don't get sick or anything like that. So I did. I followed everything I had to. Thursday night was the Chainsmokers concert, which again, we'll roughly go over that here in a little bit. I was like, I'm going to this concert whether or not I still feel well. I'm going. I had been hyping this concert up since April. I'm going. Even if they have to bring me on a fucking gurney, I'm still going. Friday rolls around. Thursday I felt a little bit better, so I was like, I'm going to this concert. So was it the best decision? Yes, it was. Friday I was like, I'm gonna try to go to school, whatever, everything's gonna be fine. I go for an hour and it wasn't even when I had classes. I just get to school really early because I procrastinate and wait to do all my homework until the morning of. I was feeling absolutely horrible. I had just started on this new medicine. I was taking it with food, everything like that, and I started to feel super sick. So I left, proceeded to get sick in my car while I was driving home. And I literally was so pissed off because I was wearing my new hoodie. It was just, I was like, oh my God, this would happen to me. So I get home, I just stay in bed the rest of the weekend. I was just miserable. And I have a picture of me with an ice pack on my throat because honestly, that was the only thing that was helping. I was eating ice cream, I was eating popsicles, I was eating mashed potatoes, Jello, anything that was soft, I was eating. And it's still I was feeling I was dehydrated. I was probably not getting enough nutrients for my body to fight off the infection. There's a picture I took on my Snapchat and yeah. You could tell how miserable I was in this picture. I remember on that Saturday, it was like 5 o'clock and my mom had been gone all day, and I had told my stepdad earlier in the day, I was like, hey, I think I need to go to the ER. Like, something's not right. My body's not recovering. I can't breathe. Like, I can't eat. Like, my tonsils are still swollen and heavily infected. Like, you can see them. Like, when I opened my mouth, like, you could see how bad they were. He didn't take me, so I waited till my mom got home. My mom got home, we went to the ER. My mom comes home and I'm like, hey, I need to go to the ER. Like, something's not okay. Like, it was probably something I should have done earlier in the week, but I don't like doctors. It's not that I don't like doctors. I don't like asking for help. So I always like to think of every other possible solution before I go and ask for help. So I didn't want to go to a doctor and him be like, yeah, we can't do anything for you. You just have to tough it out. So I told my mom, I was like, hey, we need to go to the doctor. Like, we need to go to the ER. Like, something's not right. And I could feel it. Like, cause I get sick like pretty frequently, and it's usually just like colds, but I've never had a flare up this bad. So I was like, all right, we're going, it's whatever. So we get to the ER, they call me back, and they're like asking me all these questions. Like, they basically do like, do you smoke drugs? Do you take drugs? Like, are you pregnant? Like, do you drink? Do you feel safe at home? Like, all this kinds of stuff. And I'm sitting there like in the room with my mom, and I'm like, should I answer no to some of these just to like freak her out? The whole, like, so we get there and whatever. So we're sitting in the room and the NP comes in and she's like, what's going on? Like, what have you been experiencing? What are your symptoms? All this stuff like that. Basic doctor stuff. So I told her everything and she like looked for 5 seconds and was like, yeah, you have strep throat. So the med check that I went to, like, they were treating it more from like a bronchial aspect, like a lung infection, where I had full-blown strep, but the strep test came back negative, and they're really tricky because you have to get it right on the tonsil, and if you don't, they typically come back negative. So I was like, great, that's cool. So she was like, yeah, none of the medicine that you were taking was gonna help. So I was like, great, cool. So she gave me a steroid shot, and I was just like sitting in the hospital room, like watching like college football, and watching the build up to the KSI Logan Paul fight, because like that I loved, like I wanted to see Logan Paul get absolutely smashed on the canvas, and he did. So we were there for probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, which was like pretty quick in my opinion. Like, I've never had to go to the ER before, but like I know people who have, and we're usually there for like hours, like overnight type stuff. So I was preparing to be there overnight. So I went home, immediately crashed. When she gave me the steroid shot, like I immediately fell asleep because like I had so much relief in my throat. Like, the swelling had gone down, and it just like, I felt like a brand new person. Like, I could breathe in fresh air. So it was really nice and whatnot. She put me on new medicine and it really helped. And I like had been off of it for like 2 weeks or whatever at this point now. So I'm feeling 100% better. So I went to a ear, nose, and throat specialist, which like they deal with this kinds of stuff. And I had seen her before because like I said, I get sinus infections, flare-ups at least 4 times a year. But I was like, yeah, I think it's time we get my tonsils taken out because they're not working. They're doing more harm than they are good. And she was like, yeah, you don't meet the criteria for getting your tonsils taken out, so you have to keep them until you meet that criteria, which comes into play with every negative strep test that I've had. So like I said earlier, they're really 50-50. Like, if you don't get it in the right spot, like they're not going to come back positive. So like I looked at my mom and I'm like, I give it till next year till I have to get them out. And I was like freaking out because like I don't like surgery. I don't like needles. And this is coming from somebody who has multiple piercings and tattoos. Like, I just don't like that kind of stuff. And I've never really had to have major surgery, so I was freaking out. Obviously I don't have to have them taken out right now. That was fun. And that was my ER trip. Hopefully I don't ever have to go back. It was kind of scary. But again, I'm feeling like 100% better and everything like that. Like, from September, like end of September, beginning of October, till like at least like a week after the concert, like that was like the worst point of this entire year. Like, so much stuff had happened. I was getting sick all the time. I wasn't sleeping very well. I got very like sick. My cat was getting sick, so like I had to deal with that. There was a lot of like anxiety, stress, a lot of stuff going on. like Chainsmokers concert. Let's talk about it. The day of the concert, I was very 50-50. I was like, all right, I feel really good. We're gonna be fine. Time got closer to the concert, I was like, okay, I'm not feeling too hot. So I ended up bringing like all the medicine that I would need. So like Tylenol, my actual prescribed medicine, and cough drops, because like they were helping me like with soothing my throat so much. I was just popping them like every 5 minutes. We got there, we took the train, or not really the train, we took the bus, because it's expensive to park downtown where I live. Extreme with it. And I was like, I don't have money, so we're not paying for parking, we'll just take the free, you know, the free transit. So Lennon Stella comes on stage, and I'm like sitting down for like the beginning part, because I'm just like out of it. There was a lot of people there, a lot more people than I thought there was going to be. So if you see me looking down at my phone, it's because I have all the pictures and stuff here to kind of like jog my memory. So there was a lot of people there that I wasn't really like expecting, because like the Chainsmokers aren't really in my opinion, like a big house name where I'm from. Neither are 5 Seconds of Summer and Lennon Stella. Like they're not really played on the radio here. But there was a lot of people there with 5 Sauce t-shirts on, as well as like Chainsmokers stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, like, because I know they play like at the race here. So it was really cool how many people were actually there. We had really good seats, like I wasn't complaining where we were. So Lennon Stella comes on stage. She's a god. We love her, and she's just so beautiful. And I also apologize in all of these videos that I will be playing or inserting somewhere. I sound absolutely horrible. I probably shouldn't have been singing, but I couldn't help myself. I was like, I feel fine. It's whatever. I'll pay for it tomorrow. And I did. So she comes on stage, and immediately people are just kind of like, oh, who's she? And I'm sitting there like, this my like, yes. So she plays a lot of stuff, you know, that's popular of hers. Kissing Other People, Bad, and La Da Dee or something like that. Those are the 3 that I was like most excited to hear, because I absolutely love those songs. Oh my god, I'm losing my voice. Interesting. I went to musical bingo last night and had a ball and yelled bingo multiple times. Only won once. It's fine, it's whatever. So she does her thing. She's vibing with the crowd. The crowd's vibing with her, and they're all like, yes. Like her voice control live. Like I knew somebody who went to the concert, and the next day he was like, oh yeah, she was lip singing, and I'm like, no, that's just how she sounds. Like she just genuinely has that kind of like voice. Absolutely beautiful. Loved it and everything like that. Again, I was popping my cough drops periodically through the show, and again, I apologize for my horrible singing. Next, 5 Seconds of Summer came on stage. I told my friend prior, I was like, hey, if I drop to the floor, let it happen. If I cry, let it happen, because people have tried to stop me before, and it normally does not end well. The boys come on stage, and immediately I start screaming, because this is the first time that they've been back in my home state since 2015, and I was 16, I was 17, and it was on my birthday, and I literally had a ball. And it was just kind of interesting to see how, like I was looking at pictures like the other day from like that concert, and just how much they've grown, how much I've grown, and just how much like the fan base has grown in 4 years. Absolutely crazy. So they played a lot of their songs that they played on their last tour, just adding in Easier in Teeth. I will say, one thing I did not like, they switched out Better Man, which is from their Youngblood album, which was one of my favorite songs. Like it was such a beautiful piece, absolutely amazing, for What's My Age Again by Blink-182. And again, I'm not upset at the fact that they did this. I'm upset at the fact that they couldn't have taken out a different song and do it. That was my thing. Why is technology so stupid? So they did a cover of Blink-182's What's My Age Again, which again, I understood why they did it, because they're trying to, I guess, cater to a different kind of audience than what they're typically known for, which is teen pop, whatever. Which a lot of people actually liked them for that. I just hope on the next tour they don't do it, because I love Better Man. It's such a staple off that album. It's a staple off of Youngblood. Absolutely loved it. They came on stage, they performed a lot of their songs. Why Won't You Love Me came on, and that's one of my favorite songs ever that they've done. And Callum has been doing this thing recently where he does like a run during the pre-chorus of that song, and I told my friend prior, I was like, if he does this, I'm on the ground, like that's it. And he did it. So beautiful, and I just love it. I hope he never stops doing it, because it's absolutely one of my favorite things about that song. Hey guys, it's Editing Liv, looking busted and crusted as always, but going back and editing this video, I realized that I cut a lot of the audio out from Callum's solo because I was actually on the ground, and it was supposed to sound like this. But I panicked and cut off like some of the best parts. So yeah. All right, back to the video. They played Waste the Night, which is again one of my favorite songs. The only songs that I really saw people like singing with that weren't really fans of them were Amnesia. She looks so perfect in Youngblood. And maybe easier. Teeth. Don't know if you love me or you want me dead. Push me away, push me away. Beg you stay, beg you stay. Call me in the morning to apologize. Every little lie give me butterflies. Something in the way you look into my eyes. Don't know if I'm gonna make it out alive. Life's so dirty that you love me so sweet. Touch so pretty, a shot got teeth. Late night devil, put your hands on me. Never, 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 never. Overall, it was such a great concert. There was one thing that really bothered me about it was it felt like it was a disconnect between them and the fans or the audience, that there wasn't enough time to like connect with them, which it happens, but they also only had about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe even an hour to get through 13 songs. So it was just repetitive, like no stopping. They stopped every once in a while to say like, hey, we're 5 Seconds of Summer, like if you know the song, sing it. I'm Luke, Callum, Michael Ashton, whatever. But there wasn't really enough time to really talk to the audience, connect with the audience and everything like that. But I'm not gonna complain. So, I mean, at least they came back. And we'll see how much this partnership, if you wanna call it, helped with future sales of tickets, future sales of albums, single release dates, stuff like that. Because like that's my whole thing with it, was the reason why they probably toured with them was to gravitate towards a different audience and to try and put their name out there with a different type of people. We'll see how it does when they go on tour again, which will probably be sometime next year, and we'll see how that goes. Chainsmokers. If you've been on my channel before, you know I have a long distaste for Drew Taggart. Some songs he can sing, some songs he can't. I think on this tour, at least in my show, he did a very good job. With as much jumping and moving around as he was doing, he sounded really good. I actually knew a lot more songs than I thought I was going to know.
You can go away with everything, but show me how better.
Through half the concert because there was fire and smoke and I just wasn't feeling well and I couldn't breathe already, so it just wasn't a good mix. It was a very good concert. It's up there for sure in my top 5. I didn't know how to dance. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I felt like a dad at a wedding because I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of like moved around, whatever, kind of stuff like that. It was a really interesting show how they incorporated everything. At one point they debuted a new song.
Minimum wage, should I have known? Take hold, never let go. Think I might push my luck with you. There's another night we know it to you. If I ask right now, would you think it through? I think I might push my luck with you. You just say that you got nothing else to do. Still okay if I stay, cause I'm dying to. I'm dying to. Holy shit, let's go here! Let's go, man! Let's go!
And that part, it was a little bit pitchy. I didn't know if he just wasn't confident enough to sing the song live or if it was supposed to be like that, because I know it's like that in the actual song, which was Push My Luck, which is now out everywhere. So it's not like I can't tell anybody. All of a sudden, Matt, who was the drummer for them, he comes out from behind his little drum kit area and comes to like the middle of the stage, and there's another drum kit waiting for him, and this man is absolutely insane. So he's drumming, you know, what drummers do and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden like he turns around and grabs drumsticks that are on fire. So not only is he drumming with fire, there's fire underneath him because he's on a pedestal kind of thing, and then there's fire behind him, and I see smoke, and I look at my friend and I'm like, he's on fire, and I don't think he realizes he's on fire. He was fine. He was 100% fine. It was it was interesting. I've never seen a drummer do that before. And then Drew Taggart eventually comes down on a like circus ball thing that's like attached to like a box, so like it's more stable. He hops in there and then he's floating around.
On the west side of America, where this man lies with fairy lights, we can pick sides, but this is us. This is us.
And it was absolutely crazy. My anxiety was like really high. There's also a video of me going ape shit, and sending it to somebody who was in Michigan at the time. And if you're watching this, hi, what's up? I was just going crazy. I probably shouldn't have with how sick I was, but I was like, you know what, whatever. If I die, it's fine, whatever. I lived a good 21 years of my life. Drew Taggart does his little cage thing. Len and Stella opened up their set with Takeaway. And then I told my friend, I was like, we're leaving right after Who Do You Love? Because I'm not feeling well, you've got a paper to write. Poor thing, she was writing her paper in between the breaks of each set list, or each opening act. I felt so bad. So anyway, Five Sauce come back out, they're singing Who Do You Love? And I'm like vibing with it, you know, I'm just like, yes, who do you love? Obviously not me. And it was just like, it was a crazy thing because like everybody knew it. And even during Youngblood, like I literally was sitting there just thinking like, holy shit, like people actually know who they are. It's crazy to me that like a band from a small town in Sydney that I've been like following for 8 years is like here in my city playing songs that everybody knows. And it's just crazy. It was a crazy thing to me. It was a crazy moment. And yeah, it just was like, holy shit, like they actually made it. Wow, okay, cool. It was a good experience. Like, if the Chainsmokers ever came back here, I'd probably go again because like it was a good show. They are really good performers. Drew Taggart sounded good. So Drew, you've got a point in my book. It was a good show. It was a little bit, like, again, thinking of it now, like the opening acts were a little bit kind of varied. Like different groups of people, again, to put their name out there and everything like that. I think that's everything. That is the end of this video. If you want more videos like this where I'm standing in my shower with my shower curtain behind me talking about life experiences, I will go ahead and do those. I want to do more videos like this because I actually kind of enjoyed them standing in my very cold ceramic tub talking about just stupid stuff. If there's any like videos, I know Harry Styles' album's coming out next week. I'm super excited. I'm like, oh, we missed you, Harry Styles. If there's anything that you guys want me to watch specifically, like I'll definitely do it. I am gonna have so much time because exams are this week. I'll have a whole bunch of time to do whatever. So just let me know. Put it in the comment section down below. Also, follow my Instagram and my Twitter, stuff like that, where I just basically talk about the holidays because I'm lonely and don't have friends to do anything. Big up loneliness. As well as hit the subscribe button and the like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh my god, the decade's almost over. I don't know why I just thought about that. The decade's like almost over. Holy shit. That's crazy to me. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. to let it